What's going on, everybody? Fragged out, swagged out, and you already know why I'm here. Listen, the hoodie is on. It's mid-September, pretty much. We're not just getting into hoodie season, we're getting into cuffing season. I read online somewhere that cuffing season starts in October, so we're right around the corner. And you want the right fragrances if that's going to be the case for you. And the fragrance I have tonight, it's kind of not really to get cuffed up, but it might work, it might not for you. Who knows? This one right here is from Dua. So if you watch any reviews on Dua, one of the biggest names in terms of reviewers that really follows Dua's and all the releases, dude named Mega Dave. He has a page on YouTube and Instagram, also fresh. And he did have a collaboration with Dua. The first one was last year, I believe. Citrus fragrance. Not my thing. I don't like citrus, so I never reached for it. I saw the second release. This is it. Also fresh part 2, the second release. One night stand. A lot more notes that kind of that I gravitate to. So I felt like checking this one out. This is the box it comes in. You know, if you ever seen the big bottles from Dua, same presentation, and it's like super snug in there. And here is your bottle. So it's a really nice bottle, really nice presentation. Better than the smaller Dua bottles. The cap, it's gonna hold, but I wouldn't play with it too much. But it does stay. So if you are one of those people who are sticklers for that, I can't put it down and pick it up. I just don't trust it too much. But it's good. It's snug. It's snug. I ain't gonna play with it. All right. So with this fragrance right here, one night stand, what you expect is something sexy, something you can go on a date on, something you can go to the club with, something that's gonna attract, those type of things. Again, with this type of a name like one night stand, that's what you're expecting. And ultimately, before I even get down to the fragrance, do I think it does that? I think this is going to be very impressive fragrance for dates or anything of that nature. For people who are more versed in fragrance, people who are past like everything has to be fresh and it has to have citrus or ambergris like that. If you're still in that phase, this might go right over your head. If you've gotten into darker fragrances, if you like those ouds, those patchoulis, spices, then this will be attractive to you. So if you're a dude and you're getting one night stand and you think I'm gonna find myself in that situation, first of all, I always say this fragrance don't do that. You do that. This helps. But this might not help if you're dealing with somebody who's not into fragrance that much. This is more for like the people who have been into fragrance and like those little nuances, those things that make fragrances different as opposed to just like everything else that works. So let's get into the fragrance. I sprayed some here earlier. There's a couple of things I want to get into. A little bit of a comparison thing also. Not saying it's a clone, but something it reminds me of, and it is a positive thing as well. So I'm gonna spray it right here. I'm not gonna spray it again. This stuff is strong. Oh man, this stuff. So first of all, nuclear, super scent bubble, scent bomb. Like it fills the room quickly. This is powerful. If nothing else, if you can't give it credit for nothing else, it's powerful. Sillage, performance, the amount of time it lasts on your skin, it is just a performer. Super strong. The first thing that comes off when you smell it, it's gonna be a strong cinnamon. It's a cinnamon. It's a cinnamon, earthy, dank patchouli, and some rose. That's the initial, that's the opening, that's the blast. That's that powerful opening that, honestly, that initial spray is not going to get you that one. Is not going to get you past the first conversation. It is strong. It is overpowering. As it dies down in the skin, and when I say die down, you don't need to wait forever. I'm talking from this one to this one, maybe 10 minutes about, max. It already starts calming down and settling in with your skin and behaving itself. What you're going to find is cinnamon, patchouli. You're still going to get that ginger, but you're going to get nice sweet notes of that vanilla and that caramel in here. So just for reference, the notes are Satsuma, Mandarin. Never heard of it, but it's a Mandarin. White ginger, coriander, cardamom, rose, Fireball, I'm assuming they mean the drink, cinnamon or the candy, bourbon soaked Maduro tobacco, caramel patchouli, 30-year Madagascar vanilla, amber, and white musk. So the great thing about this fragrance is you are going to pick up on a lot of those individual notes and how they play a part and as they merge together. So again, after that initial blast that you open up with, you're going to get that cinnamon, that rose, that patchouli, and you start getting those sweet facets of the caramel and the vanilla that are really, really nice. And that ginger is in there. It gives it a almost spicy freshness. And when you put that coriander and cinnamon together, it adds that spiciness, but those sweet notes give it almost that candy-esque kind of spicy cinnamon vibe. But you still have that heft of that patchouli, that bourbon-soaked tobacco that gives it a good, healthy sense of matureness to the fragrance. It's dark, it's heavy, it's filling, it's nice. But what it is not a gourmand kind of sweet. It's not a very playful fragrance in that sense. It's more of a heavy fragrance that's been toned down with sweet notes like that patchouli, with that caramel, like that vanilla, that amber. Those things help give it a more palatable scent profile. But overall, this is a heavy fragrance. This is not an initially get very close, because you could overpower somebody with anything more than 2 sprays. Do I like this fragrance? I do. Now, I'm going to talk about the comparison thing. The first thing I thought about when I smelled this was Unique's Crush on Me. Are they clones? Are they identical? They are not. When I smell it, the first thing I think is Crush on Me. Then I go get Crush on Me and smell it, and I'm like, they're very different. But they have similarities. Now, what are the similarities? Well, they both carry patchouli. They both carry caramel. They both carry that ginger. Those 3 notes are very prominent in both fragrances, and there is a similarity of how you do it. Now, what I would say is, if you know Crush on Me already, tone the caramel down just a little bit and add cinnamon. Put a little bit more oomph on that patchouli and that ginger. And you're kind of in the neighborhood. Now, you kind of know what you're smelling now. Again, if you know what Crush on Me is like. That ginger, that patchouli, that caramel is just proportioned differently, but very similar in the structure of the smell itself. Is this good? It is. Again, do I think it's going to be a one night stand fragrance? I think this is a very sexy fragrance, but I think it's one of those things where it has to be for somebody who appreciates, like someone who gets the craft of perfumery. So if you're dating a frag head and she's into that kind of thing, I think she's going to smell it and be like, yo, fire. If you're dating somebody whose ex-boyfriend and the ex-boyfriend is all Jean Paul Gaultier, Aqua de Joe, then she's going to be like, oh, like, what do you... So understand who your audience is, and you'll get a better response with this fragrance. Would I recommend it? To all the dark fragrance users, to all the people who don't mind the challenger fragrance, to all the people who don't put a fragrance on and think to themselves, I hope everybody else likes it. I like this. Do I think it's similar enough to Crush on Me that it's a redundant purchase? It could have been minus the cinnamon. The cinnamon really changes. The cinnamon and the fireball really change a lot of how this feels. But it's kind of similar. If you like that fragrance, I think it's something to definitely check out. It's a nice bottle. You can always get 30% off with Dua. And ultimately, it is a good fragrance. For me, I don't like to get too confused with how I feel about it versus how someone else will. I always compare things like this to Aventus, where a lot of dudes just love Aventus. Just the people around them are like, it's cool, it's nice. It's not the big deal you're making it out to be. So this may not be the big deal you think it is, but it does smell good. And people who appreciate fragrance will like it. I don't regret this fragrance. This is definitely going to be for the colder days, the hoodie days, for sure. It's heavy. I don't know the time for performance yet, or that is gonna last on me, but I can tell you right now, this is heavy. The first day I tried it on, I forgot it was on later. I like at the end of the day, so I haven't like timed it, but I know it goes all day. It fills a room. It follows you wherever you go. People, you know, you're in there. And that's really all I have. So this is from Dua, also fresh part 2, and it is One Night Stand. If you smelt this, leave some comments. Maybe it'll help give people a better idea of what the fragrance is like. But again, my best reference is Crush on Me from Unique. Add some cinnamon, some Fireball, tone down the caramel, add some more ginger patchouli. It's kind of in the neighborhood you're looking at. Great fragrance, great composition. Overall, beast mode fragrance. I do like that part about it as well. And it'll get more uses in the winter time, especially in the colder days. I feel like this is cut to just about any cold weather. That is all I have for you. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this, give it a like. If you're not following, follow me, please. Because I'm going to do more content. Usually, my time online is kind of surrounded about the feedback I get. When I get a lot of feedback, I kind of interact more and do more videos. So if you like this, you want to see more, go ahead, follow, subscribe, thumbs up, add comments, do what you want. I'm going to be here. I'll check it out, and I'll respond to you as soon as I get an opportunity, and it's pretty quick usually. Again, thank you very much. That's all I have for you guys. It's fragged out, swagged out, and I'm out.